Because Moses was adopted by the daughter of Pharaoh, he grew up in the palace where he received an education in all of Egyptian knowledge. Moses was brought up as a prince, and he could have lived in comfort all of his life. But Moses knew that he was actually a member of a Hebrew family. Being a Hebrew means that you are a Jew. You are a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember that Jacob's other name was Israel. If you were a Hebrew, Jew, then you were called a child, or grandchild, or grandchild, or great-grandchild, or great-grandchild of Israel. You were an Israelite. Moses saw the Hebrew people unfairly treated. One day, when he had become a grown man, he was watching his people as they worked for one of the Egyptian taskmasters. Moses saw one of the Egyptians beating a Hebrew. Moses killed the Egyptian and buried him in the sand. But Moses had been seen. When the word was spread about the killing, Pharaoh heard it and planned to have Moses killed. Moses was afraid and realized he would have to run away. Moses fled to the land of Midian, where he rested by a well. The 7 daughters of the priest of Midian came to draw water from the well for their father's flocks. Some shepherds drove the girls away from the well, but Moses came to the daughters' rescue. He helped them water their flock. The girls told their father, Reuel, about the man who had helped them. Moses was invited to their home. He stayed and eventually married Zipporah, one of Reuel's daughters. For 40 years, Moses was a shepherd. Back in Egypt, the people of God were crying out for help because of their slavery. God heard their cries, and he remembered his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They would be a great nation and would have their own land. God was planning to choose someone to lead his people to freedom. One day, as Moses watched his father-in-law's sheep, he saw a bush on fire. The fire seemed to come up out of the middle of the bush, but the bush didn't burn up. It just kept burning and burning. Moses went to the bush. As he went nearer to the bush, a voice called, "Moses! Moses!" "Here I am," said Moses, even more surprised. "Do not come any closer," the voice said. "Take off your shoes. This is holy ground. I am God." Moses did what the Lord told him to do. "I know all the trouble my people are having in Egypt," God said. "I want you to ask the king to let my people leave Egypt and go to a new land I have for them." "Oh no," cried Moses. "I can't do that. I am nobody. How can I talk to the king?" God said. "I will go with you, Moses. But what will I tell the people? What if they want to know who you are?" Moses asked. "Tell them that I sent you to lead them out of Egypt. Tell them I am who I am," God answered. When Moses was worried that the people would not believe the things he said, God answered, "See the staff in your hands. When you throw it down, it will turn into a snake. When you pick it up by the tail, it will turn back into a staff." Then the Lord told Moses to put his hand into his cloak and pull it out again. Moses' healthy hand had turned into a diseased hand with leprosy. When the Lord told him to put it back in his cloak, the hand became well again. "Moses, if they still don't believe you, then take some water out of the Nile River and pour it on the ground. The water will turn into blood. They will believe you then." Even though the Lord had answered all of Moses' questions, Moses still had another excuse. "But I can't talk well," Moses said. "Moses, who made your mouth." "I did. I will help you talk," said God. Finally Moses said, "Oh Lord, please send someone else." The Lord was angry with Moses. Moses was only offering excuses to not do what the Lord said. "I will tell Aaron, your brother, to help too. I will tell you what to say. Aaron will help you say. Aaron will help you say it." Moses didn't understand all that God wanted him to do. He thought it was too hard for him, but God had promised to help him. What do you think Moses did next? Moses obeyed God and prepared to make the long trip back to Egypt.